Welcome to the Going North podcast, where we will deliver you tips and techniques to advance yourself in anything you decide to do. I'm your host, author, speaker, and book enthusiast, Dom Brightman, and every Thursday I will interview authors, especially self-published ones, from various walks of life, who will deliver you some inspiration and information to advance yourself. Be sure to check out my book called Going North on Amazon.com, available in both ebook and paperback. And let's get on with the show. So today on the Going North podcast, we have another guest. But this one is going to be an extra special guest because this person here is a certified life coach in physical, mental, and emotional abuse. And she's also a motivational speaker too. Ms. Altovise, she helps women to define their unique voice, and she is the author of a series of self-help books for business, women, and families, and she's also the CEO of Define Your Voice Academy. She was born and raised in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and at the early age she developed a love of writing that would get her through many difficult situations. But what she didn't know was that writing would create an opportunity to advocate for those who feel as though they have lost their voice because of their past. So let's give a warm round of applause for those who are listening to this to Miss Altovise Pelzer. How you feeling?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Feeling fabulous. So beyond the bio, tell us a bit about you.
So I am kind of short. I love unicorns.
Okay.
And people actually consider me the unicorn because with working with the women that are my clients, I see things different, I speak different, I act different, so I stand out. But I'm an introvert, so it's kind of like an oxymoron.
Oh, don't worry, I'm an introvert too, believe it or not. You're okay.
Good. Introverts united in our own separate areas.
Yes.
But yes, no, single mom of 14. I've dealt with homelessness. I am a victor over molestation, as well as the mother of 2 victors over molestation, teen girls. So I've seen that whole process from both aspects of it. I've worked with women in domestic violence, sex trafficking, those who have gone through divorce. And, a lot of times we fall back and we kind of clamor up and we lose sight of how powerful our voice can be. So that's what I help women be able to do.
Yeah, that is great because that's something that the world needs right now because there's a lot of stuff going on on the planet that's being brought to light right now through just social media and the power of technology, and it kind of makes the world a little smaller, and you realize, like, hey, I didn't know this was a big thing about the whole sex trafficking and the folks being molested, especially those in the family, and it's really, really a difficult subject, and it's great we got folks like you out there that are being advocates for those women and those molestation victims. It's great we got folks like you out there helping people out.
Yeah, definitely. It's social media has definitely broadened our horizons, but it's actually, also taking the veil off of our eyes and allowing us to see that some things that we thought were, it was only overseas, it was only in this part of the world, that no, it's actually happening a lot closer to home, and in some people it's happening right in their own backyard.
Yeah, it's more than cookouts going on in the backyard. It's
definitely more than cookouts and swimming. It sure is. But the good thing is that I've come in contact with some amazing women, and watching them go through that process of, going from the caterpillar to the butterfly, and being that person who was a people pleaser, being that person who was always the yes person, being that person who was kind of, hiding behind the curtain, not really wanting to shine, always being that support person for somebody else, but not really doing anything themselves. Watching them step out into the light is really amazing. So that's one of the things that I really take pride in. It's It makes me feel all warm and tingly on the inside.
That's great too, especially with folks calling you the unicorn, because you got to bring warmth to the people, right?
Exactly. Make them smile, do silly dances, things like that.
And then when the session of support is over, just bring out the giant rainbow, and they get to float their way back to where they came.
Exactly. Unless you're looking at the Squatty Potty commercial with the unicorn and all of that, then it's a whole other it's a whole other visual.
Yeah, that's where things go south.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're not the Florida type either.
Yes, indeed. Then it's a whole other visual. I think that commercial has completely tainted my thought process of ice cream for the rest of my life.
So I guess that helps out the dieting phases, right? No ice cream, just looking at the commercial.
Yeah, pretty much.
So being able to overcome your past and helping and supporting others, what led you, what gave you the confidence to just discover and see hey, this world needs this message needs to be heard? What motivated you to go out there and come out your introvert shell and just extrovert out into the world?
Well, I had to get pushed because little old me would rather be behind the scenes, helping everybody, supporting everybody. But I saw that there were a lot of people that were hurting, a lot of people that were going through things, and we saw the outside piece of it, but we really didn't understand what was going on the inside. And it's those wounds that people have. So we can see the physical wounds, we can see the broken leg, we can see the scars, but the scars and wounds that are on the inside, we can't really see those as clearly. And so a lot of times they kind of get either misdiagnosed or they get unnoticed and kind of thrown underneath the rug, oh no, they'll be all right, they'll be okay. And with going through it with my daughters, I know that statistically the world tells you that, women who have gone through abuse and young men who have gone through abuse, they deal with so many different things, from drug addiction to prostitution to being a stripper to being a cutter and suicide. And I made it a point that was not going to be the future that I had for my girls. And so I had a conversation, and I was talking to my oldest daughter about trust. And we were having this conversation, and I kind of blurted it out that I had been molested. But before that, no one had ever known. And
Wow.
So that happened to me back when I was in about first grade. And I just had that conversation with her in 2015, so only 2 years ago. And it was okay, it was one of those moments oh crap, I can't bring that back. I can't, it's out in the atmosphere. I can't even pull it back or cover it as nothing I can do. And in that moment, she just looked at me and she was crying and she held my hand and she hugged me. But later on down the line, a few months later, we had a conversation. I asked her, I said, what was your most proud moment of me? Now, at this time, I had 2 books published and I was a certified life coach. I was doing it. Yes, mommy powers. I just knew that she would say one of those. And she said the most proud moment she had of me was when I told her that I had been molested as well, because then she knew that she wasn't alone.
Wow.
And I said, wow. So if she feels like that as a teenager, then what are some of the women going through? The ones that never had somebody, outright, openly just say, I've been through what you're going through. I've been where you are. So I did it, kicking and screaming. I still wanted to stay in the corner with my music and my book. But it went from that moment to me publishing my first book to me now, literally I've published 6 books with another 2 more that'll be out, coming soon, even more coming after that, speaking on stages, traveling all over the U.S., and working on doing some international opportunities to speak as well. So it's definitely been an amazing experience.
That is wonderful. Looks like you're a writing machine. 6 books and 2 more on the way.
Yes, I'm excited. Now, I told you, introverts, I can do that. I can sit in my little square and write to my little heart's content. Now, getting on stages, A little bit more difficult, but I manage it pretty well.
Oh, yeah. But you're doing it, though. You're doing a lot more than some others because sometimes I catch a couple of your Facebook Live posts and you put up some helpful tips, like for those first-time authors, especially the one where you mentioned how to always carry a book on you, at least have a couple books on you because you never know when that can turn into like a sale or just a networking opportunity just to hand it out as your business card and things like that.
Yes, I am a firm believer that your book is an expensive business card. And literally, you should always have at least 1 or 2 copies on you. I found that out the hard way, of course, which is why I started doing Speak Easy and talking about all the behind-the-scenes stuff when it comes to writing and being a speaker. You know, the behind-the-scenes stuff like, you know, the wardrobe malfunctions and, you know, schedules not going properly, things getting canceled, all of those wonderful things that nobody really wants to talk about. But I've had times where I literally had people, and they were like, oh, my goodness, you're an author? Well, where can I find your book? And you have to go Amazon.
You got to go to the whole spiel.
Yeah, you got to go, if you go to Amazon and put in my name or you could get this, you might be able to get that. And so I have a link to my Amazon page. I got smart, got wise. I got the Amazon Author Central page, and I got a bit.ly link that goes to that. But still, you kind of lose the momentum if they're ready to buy right in front of you and you don't have anything to sell. It's like somebody walking into a corner store and there's no candy in it. What is your purpose for having a corner store if you have absolutely no candy? You should be shut down. That's
I want my Reese's and my lollipops. You got none of them. I'm out.
Exactly. I want some lemon heads and some narrow-laters. You should be shut down immediately. I'm calling whoever I need to call. Better Business Bureau or somebody. You need to be shut down. It's along that same lines, though. If you don't have something in your hand that you can physically put in their hand, then you're doing yourself a disservice. I've found that a lot of times with authors, we get the hype about writing a book, and we know the excitement and the thrill about launching the book. And, oh, my goodness, people buy it, and your auntie and your grandma, and everybody's so excited for you. And then we forget that after the launch day, we still have to promote.
Yep.
And people just don't line up to buy books every day. You literally have to put yourself out there. You have to find a way to promote, places to promote. I know me, I'm very, anti-business cards because they kind of take up a lot of space. And then I don't remember who you are when I go back to the business card.
Yeah, it's true.
Sometimes they kind of just collect all the time.
Put them in the Rolodex, and then 2 years later be like, who this?
Exactly. Like, oh, okay. Well, maybe I would have called you if I remember who you were, but that's okay. So I encourage people to do bookmarks, find other ways to put their, information out there. But yeah, definitely always have a book. If you don't have a book, at least have something that has your information on it that you can give them. But number one choice is have a book with you.
That's right. Have a book, a bookmark, or if you have a business card, make sure it's extra shiny with a picture of you on it.
Yes. And not one of the creepy pictures either.
Aw, darn, it's Halloween season 2. Crap.
No creepy pictures. I don't want to look at the business card and think that it is going to show up in my home. I don't want to do that. So let's...
Well, I think
some makeup jobs that were kind of left. They were kind of botched. So I don't want to see that. Let's just make sure it looks presentable when the picture is on the business card. That's all.
Well, if they're a home cleaning service, they might want to show up in your home, right?
Yeah, but, I don't know. I don't want to come across your card, in 3 months and scare myself when I look at it. I don't want to. That's not good. It's not a good way to make people remember your business.
It's like, oh, she was the ghost of 1986. All right, that's going
exactly.
back.
Oh, that's horrible. It's so true, but it's horrible. Don't do that. Oh my goodness. And I've seen some very interesting looking business card pictures that are just like, yeah, you didn't get any advice before you did that one. But so goes life.
But speaking of life, also like the fact, in a way, kind of like the testimony, it kind of goes back to the power of youth and the power of children, because children remember everything and they will surprise you and they have no filters.
None at all. And not only will they remember everything, they will hold you to it 110%. So tell them that y'all are going shopping and they will be waiting for you at the door, wondering why you don't have your shoes on at 7 o'clock in the morning. Why aren't you ready? Not knowing that the mall doesn't open until at least 10 o'clock. They're at the door at 7 a.m. waiting for you, looking at you like we can get breakfast on the way.
That's right. Who needs a meeting planner? Just have one of your kids be your meeting planners. Tell them what you want to do during the day.
And I've done that. So I don't like schedules. I think that's part of that introvert. Like, I don't want you to try to hold me to anything. But I have myself. I have to schedule certain things, like when I go live. But I'm doing it at times when the kids aren't, loud or home. We're going live or doing my interviews and things like that. So I have to schedule things. And what I do is I have a dry erase board on the wall, and I write out my schedule for the day. Well, if I miss something, they don't. And there's 4 teenagers. One of them will say, "Did you go live today?" One will say, "How many people did you tell about your book today?"
Wow. "How
many times did you go live today?" And I'm just like, I'm the adult, you're the child. I'm the grown up here. But they're like, did you go live? You were supposed to go live at this time. Did you go live? Are you ready for this interview at this time? And I'm just like sitting there looking at them like, don't you have homework to do?
Well, looks like you don't need coaches or accountability buddies because you got teenagers, 4 of them.
Oh, my goodness. I'm like, didn't y'all? Did you eat? What did you eat for breakfast? Oh, my goodness. I ate. Goodness. I don't have to give my whole rundown to you. But, no, they do. They definitely keep me on my toes. They don't allow me to slack off at all. And I know that one of the funniest things is before they go on any trip, we do something called a bag check. Literally, I go through everything that's supposed to be in there. I think every mom has gone through this process at some point, where you go through this whole list of stuff that's supposed to be in their bag, and 9 times out of 10, most of the stuff is missing. Even though they said they packed the bag and that they packed it all, everything was in there. So they're always running and buying and getting stuff, and they may miss one thing here, one thing there. This one missed something. And so when I was going to San Diego last week, they literally did the same thing to me. Well, do you have this? Well, did you put this in there? Are you going to need sunscreen? Are you going to need this? I'm like, oh, my goodness, who is your parent?
And you go to the mirror like, oh, shoot, it's me. Crap.
Yes. Oh, where did you come from? But definitely, it helps, though. It helps because they're part of my why. So they're one of the reasons that I push so hard is because I want to make sure that when it comes to them, they have options, they have opportunities, and they don't have the blinders on when it comes to what they can actually achieve. Mm-hmm. So they see me going and traveling to different places and speaking on stages, even though I'm an introvert, even though I'd much rather be sitting on the couch reading a book. They see me going live, they see me changing lives, and they know that whatever it is that is their passion, that they have the opportunity to do the same thing. And so that warms my heart a little bit. It warms my heart a little bit.
That is beautiful. I like how you said that you go live and then you change lives. That is great.
That's what it feels like. I've literally reached people oh my goodness, all over the world through Periscope and Facebook Live. It's been amazing. And I can say this, my most memorable moment of going live was I went live on Periscope, and normally at that point I was going live at 6:30 in the morning, and it was called the Morning Press. I still do it. I don't do it as early. And I had a woman come on, and we were talking about, that not talking to our family members and having like this space because of something that happened. And a woman came on, and she was on the West Coast. So, I'm on the East Coast. So 6:30 my time is 3:30 her time.
Oh, man.
And it just so happened that she was up because her kitten got stuck underneath the sink. Somebody shared out the broadcast, so she hopped in because she was awake. And we were talking about it, and she said that she hadn't spoken to her brothers in a while because, she had gone through being molested, and, there was this big rift between her and her family. Some didn't believe her, others, they didn't know what to think, and so she hadn't really had a conversation with them. And in the process of this whole thing, now they can see me, I can't see them, but she said she started to cry. I said, wow. She said, in this whole time frame, that's been the one thing that she hadn't done, was she hadn't taken that time to just cry and to just allow herself to, just allow the emotions to flow when it came to that particular situation and the relationship with her family. And I said, wow, it hit home because the title of my first book is It's Okay to Cry. Mm. And I struggled with the title for that because I was like, who's going to want a book that's titled It's Okay to Cry? Don't nobody want to hear that. But that really confirmed it for me, that was something that people really needed to know, that your tears are not a weakness. You crying does not mean that you're weak or that you can't handle something. It's an emotion. It means that you're human. And sometimes it's just a release. So that has been my most memorable moment thus far by going live, at least on Periscope so far.
That is awesome, and it's a good thing you wrote a book with that title, because we all like to try to wear a veneer of, hey, be this tough person, I'm this tough person who can do that, but it takes a really, really tough person to actually just realize it's okay to shed your tears and release, because a lot of folks hold back, and then it just hurts for a very long time because they carry that with them, and you're just one of the folks out there that's helping them to realize, hey, release that tension. It'll be okay.
Yeah. And you're able to do a whole lot more once you release it, because you can see things a whole lot different. And I tell people, when you go through abuse, it's like it affects you in so many different ways, almost the way that tree roots go into the ground and they kind of spread out. When you go through abuse, it goes into your heart and kind of spreads out. It affects how you love people. It affects how you think about yourself and about other people, how you speak, how you see things. And so when you don't, allow yourself to go through that healing process and that release, woo, we can tell. We can think back on some of the people and say, they may have been through something. That's why they responded the way they responded, or that's why they act the way that they act, or that's why their thought process is that way, is because of something that they possibly went through. And I know, I'm church all day. So, it's always the older church mothers would get fussy at the young ladies that would come in with a little mini skirt to church. But you never know the backstory of that. You never know if that's the only thing she may have had, or if she just came out of, prostitution, or that may have been the only thing she's been allowed to wear. Mm-hmm. So it's like you never know. Again, it goes back to you not knowing the backstory of what somebody's been through. So, sometimes you have a conversation with people, which is hard because, again, I am an introvert. But
it's all good.
I'm getting better at it.
And as good as you are, that you're getting out of it too, and you became a life coach because of it. Definitely.
Yes, indeed. It's been an amazing experience too. And that whole life coaching, oh my goodness, we get such a bad rap. Life coaches in general right now get a really bad rap. They're just out. Well, you do have some that are a little little so-so. But, oh, they're just in it for the money. Oh, they're not really making any changes for people. They're not really doing anything significant. And that's not necessarily the case. It's not everybody. You just have to be got to be very cautious nowadays with who you spend money with and sign up for programs with, and going through some of those.
Oh, yeah, me too, definitely. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, and folks want to get inside of those billions of dollars and see if they can grab some of it. So you have to watch out for those shysters and quote-unquote snake oil salespeople.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. They put it out there and make it shiny, though, don't they?
It's true. That's right. We are in the age of distractions, and people love shiny objects. Shiny website, engage.
Yes, I've seen some people with some websites that were like, you let your little niece do that, didn't you? Your niece did your website. It's so cute. It's cute. But, their services were amazing. And then I've seen some people whose website looked amazing. And then the services were like, okay. No. Wasn't all it was cracked up to be. But it's a learning experience.
And speaking of learning, want to promote any of your programs out there or your style of life coaching for those that are interested?
Sure. So for those who are interested, I've found that one of the biggest things when it comes to being successful is having accountability. A lot of times we think that, I can just get out here and do something. And just like in the beginning of the year, we get so gung-ho and we do these vision boards and we got SMART goals. And then by March.
March? I thought you meant to say January 28th or something.
Look, the SMART goals are not smart anymore. They're only semi-intelligent.
Just a semi-intelligent.
They're not SMART goals anymore. They're kind of semi-intelligent. And then by July, August, it's just like, man, forget it. I'll try again next year. But what I found is that accountability, and the statistic is that the right accountability will make you 95% more successful, meaning you have a 95% chance of succeeding at your goals if you have the right accountability. Now, having the right accountability is not just having a coach, because I believe that not only do you need to have a coach, but you also should have a community of people that are supporting you, that help you to launch, that help you to write your book, and all things of that nature. So for me, I've started an accountability group. It's been going for a year. It's a private membership group, and it's $25 a month. They literally meet every week on Saturday mornings, and they hash out what goals they've accomplished, what goals they might have missed. The link for that is bit.ly/reactivate me, all lowercase. And literally, you join that community. You get to see us every Saturday. If you're struggling with something, believe me, in that group, you'll have somebody who will be tapping. They'll be in your Messenger. They'll be on your Facebook. Like, okay, what do you need help with? Where do you need the support? And that's one of the things that I love about the community is that within this year, it has really grown to something even more outstanding than what I could have imagined. And the community itself, they engage with each other and do working sessions and move and shake. And so, again, like I said, with women, a lot of times we say we want to do something, and then we're like, yay, shiny objects, third fingers. And then it's like, fizzle, fade away. Fade away completely. And so this allows you not to have that fade away time, because you always have somebody who's going to say, okay, I got your back. I'm checking in on you. I'm checking on you, what you're doing, what you're not doing. All right, well, let's do this together. So that is one. But I also have a freebie for you guys, for your listeners. If they go to bit.ly/lovemyvoice and put in coupon code Speak Up, they'll actually get an ebook version of my second book, Define Your Voice, for free. So
Nice.
that takes the price of it all the way down to zero, and then they can just download it. It's Define Your Voice. It's literally the whole process that I went through in defining my voice over the last year and a half to 2 years, and what that meant for me coming out of my comfort zone and out my little bubble, my little square, and being able to stand on stages. So I have that for you guys as well.
Sweet. So what advice would you give to yourself if you were 20 or 25 years old in the year of 2017?
Do it, do it, do it. Something that I've found with my teenagers as they're getting to that point where they're about to go to college is at home they get anything is possible. You can achieve anything. And at school they'll get, college is amazing. You should go to college. And it kind of conflicts sometimes. So, when I say do, go to college if that's where your heart is. But find whatever your passion is, do that. Like, don't just do college because that's what everybody's telling you to do. Don't just do trade school because that's what everybody's telling you to do. Do what's your passion. Go full force with it. Don't stop. Literally, there will be times where it's a little harder. There will be times where you don't necessarily see the successes right in front of your face, but do it. Do it, do it, do it. Because I can guarantee that if you move forward in your passion and in your purpose, you will always find success. And there will always be somebody that will turn around and say, thank you for moving and doing what you did.
Sage advice indeed.
But that's been an amazing thing that I've learned. If I knew that back in my 20s a couple of years ago, there's no telling where I would be if I knew that back a couple of years ago when I was in my 20s.
That's right, but the good thing is you learned it, and you can do marvelous things now with what you learned. So, all right.
Now I can take over the world in my Pinky in the Brain voice.
And it won't be tomorrow night either. Alrighty, so where can we keep in contact with you and keep up with what you're doing with all your social media handles and whatnot?
So I am easy to find. If you put in @Find Your Voice Now, you can pretty much find me everywhere. I am on YouTube. I'm on IG, Facebook, LinkedIn, Periscope is all @Find Your Voice Now. And like I said, I'm very active on social media, so you'll always be able to find me on there. Periscope, I've died down a little bit, but I'm actually about to go full force back on Periscope as well. I actually am a VIP Periscope influencer, so
Nice.
I need to go back on there. I know there's people waiting for me, so no, it's been an amazing platform. So that's one of the things in the work is doing some awesome things just for my Periscope followers. But yes, @Find Your Voice Now on Periscope, Facebook, LinkedIn. You definitely want to connect with me, and on Instagram. Always sharing out some positivity. If you would like to join my private Facebook group, it's a free group, bit.ly/group voice, where we just share encouragement, positivity, and ways for you to, really put your voice out there. It's a great opportunity for you.
Woohoo! And be sure to pick up about 3 copies each of all six per books, especially Defining Your Voice, because folks are going to be needing that these days.
Yes, indeed. Definitely. I always love giving gifts, though.
Thanks a bunch for your tuning ears on the Going North podcast. I hope you enjoyed that episode. Be sure to, once again, check out my book, Going North, on Amazon.com and CreateSpace.com. And if you'd like, feel free to follow me on social media at Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all at Dom Brightman, YouTube at Dom Brightman. And if you want to connect on LinkedIn as well, I am there at Dom Brightman as well. Go out there.